for those of you, I have a little sensitive spot there, and on my hand, I'm talking about, and and I hit it. That's all right. But there is a need to totally separate from all religious feelings and traditions. That's the most important part. The most important thing in reaching from here to there, if one thing I could say all this night, is get rid of religion. If you can get religion out of your mind, out of your brain, you'll make it. But as long as you're going to dwell in the superstitious insanity, it is. It's a connection between superstitious and superstitious. Then what do you want to do? All right, what can you? Let's take a look at. Are you at Luke 18? Go to chapter 10. Verse 10. And Jesus was talking about two guys go up to pray. One's a Pharisee and the other is a publican. And the Pharisee said, boy, God, I thank you. I'm not, as these other men are, extortioners, unjust adulterers, or either as this scuzzy guy standing next to me. That's what it says in the book. Here's the publican sitting there, and this other guy says, good God, am I glad that I'm pure and saved instead of this wretch next to me. Look at this guy. What's he doing in here? Praying, doesn't even have sneakers, Get rid of him. I fast twice a week. I give tithes of, look at that, I give tithes of all that I possess. But the other guy standing far off wouldn't lift up so much of his eyes, but he smote upon his breast, saying, God, be merciful. And I'll tell you, Yeshua the Christ said, this man went down to his house justified rather than the other. For everyone that exalts himself shall be abased, and he that humbles himself shall be exalted. How do you humble yourself? You do not have to lay out in the dirt, or you do not have to pour garbage on your head in order to humble yourself. You humble yourself when you separate from thought. You simply say to yourself, self, it is not me. Self, it is not the mind. Self, it is not my ego. I am giving that up, and I am opening myself to the Christ. I am opening myself to God. The key phrase in that little story is that one that exalts himself shall be humbled. In other words, when you try to raise yourself up to heaven, you're going to be lowered to earth. And that's why a lot of, whether it be in mainline religion or Christianity or the New Age movement, I see a lot of that, and it bothers me, of people with all kinds of gimmicks and all kinds of techniques. You took up the New Age Journal, which has done us a lot of good. But you see advertisements, you can get special glasses with earphones you put on, and it'll take you in a one-way flight to heaven, and all this bizarre stuff, It's not going to work. There's only one way you can do that. There's only one way to fly an airplane. You got to get up to a certain speed, and then it goes. And there's only one way to get to heaven, and that's the way that's been defined in the ancient text. And that's through meditation, a Christ-centered meditation, a God, if you would, centered meditation within yourself, not with all of these gimmicks and all of these this lunacy, because it's just, I'll tell you quite frankly, of what I see, whether it be a New Age or the other, it's just a way for people to make a buck. And that's all it is. People making a buck on other people. And this is the beautiful part about this. This doesn't cost 10 cents. It doesn't cost you a penny. All it does is require you to be obedient to Yeshua the Christ and control yourself.